السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ ناظرین، آج جو ہم آپ کو ویڈیو دکھانے جا رہے ہیں، جیسا کہ آپ کو ناظرین اس بات کا علم ہوگا کہ سوشل میڈیا پہ اور ویسے بھی اس معاشرے کے اندر دیکھا جائے تو یہ طلاق کے حوالہ سے بڑی گفتگو ہو رہی ہے، جیسا کہ عمران خان اور اس کی وائف کے بارے میں کا عدت کے دوران ہی ان کا نکاح ہو گیا۔ تو ناظرین، یہاں پہ ذاکر نائک حافظہ اللہ نے اپنا بیان جاری کیا ہے، اسی حوالہ سے آیا کہ یہ عمران خان اور جو اس کی وائف ہے اس کے درمیان جو نکاح ہوا کیا وہ ٹھیک ہے یا نہیں۔ تو آئیے ناظرین، ہم وہ ذاکر نائک حافظہ اللہ تعالیٰ کی ویڈیو دیکھتے آخر انہوں نے کیا اپنے بیان کے اندر ان کے بارے میں گفتگو کی ہے، تو پھر انشاءاللہ ناظرین اسی حوالہ سے ہم بھی گفتگو کریں گے۔ تو آئیے ناظرین مل کے ویڈیو دیکھتے ہیں۔
Surah Talaq, in the first verse, Allah SWT says, divorce them at their prescribed periods. So this period of iddat, what should be the relationship between the husband and wife during the iddat period? Because they have to stay in their house or something. There are different fiqhi rulings accordingly. But what can be the relationship? How can they, is it legal, or they have to maintain the hijab level which is prescribed for all the general men?
This was a question asked Surah Talaq chapter 65 verse number 1 onwards. It speaks about talaq, that divorce them in the prescribed period. There are various commentaries given, and you ask that what should be the state, etc. As far as if you read the hadith, there are various hadiths which say that when you divorce your wife, they should not be having the menstrual cycles. And the hikmah, the wisdom behind this is that normally during menstrual cycle, the intimate relationship is not permitted. So this should not be one of the reasons we should initiate the divorce. Therefore, you should not divorce, the husband should not divorce the wife during the menstrual cycle. So it means that in the prescribed period, means when she is not undergoing the menstrual cycle, you are permitted. During menstrual cycle, it's prohibited. And furthermore, in the iddah period, you should keep your wife the way she is kept before you give the divorce. For example, the iddah period of 3 monthly periods. In the iddah period, you should not unnecessarily give her certain pains or certain trouble which she is not used to. So in the period of iddah, that's for 3 menstrual cycles, she should have the same luxury that she had during a normal course of time before the divorce was given. The facility should be the same, so that should not be an initiation factor for the divorce to continue. So it means prescribed period means she should not be in the menstrual cycle, and the facility in the iddah period, but natural, she should not have a close relationship with the husband, so that you realize that it's more of a trial period, I call it, or a prelims, that fine. We realize many a time that in anger a person gives divorce which is not allowed to give in anger. He gives divorce in anger and he realizes, okay, within a couple of days I can't stay with my wife. So during that period, the husband can take back his wife to ruju. So therefore this trial period is their sister. So therefore in the trial period they cannot have the intimate relationship of husband and wife, but the remaining facilities remain the same sister.
Why is the iddah period after the death of a husband is longer than the iddah period after the divorce?
Sister has a question that why is the iddah period after the death of a husband longer as compared to the iddah period after the divorce? In both the iddah, as the Quran says in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2 verse number 228, that when you divorce your wife, there is an iddah period of 3 menstrual cycle or 3 monthly periods. But when a person dies, the Quran says that after your husband expires, the iddah period is for 4 months 10 days. So the iddah period after a husband expires is 1 month 10 days longer. For divorce it's 3 months, for after that it's 4 months 10 days. Why? The reason the iddah period is there are various reasons. One of the major reasons after divorce that the iddah period is there, to come to know whether the wife is carrying the child of the husband. So if during the iddah period, there are various reasons. One reason is it's more for preliminary test, as I said, that can the husband or wife stay away from each other. So it's a temporary period. In 2 weeks you come to know, I thought we got angry with my wife because she doesn't iron my clothes, and I felt that let's stay away, and now I realize in 2 weeks time I'm in a more difficult situation, let's patch up, let's reconcile. Or the wife may think I'm getting angry, that my husband gives me less time, you only give me 5 hours a day, and now in 2 weeks I realize that even if you give me 2 hours, no problem. Something is better than nothing. So they can patch up. So various reasons are there. But one of the other reasons is that to come to know whether the wife is carrying the child of the husband. So if she's carrying, it extends, the period extends till the time of delivery. And furthermore, no one should allege that if they part, and in 3 months' time, you can easily come to know without doing any medical test that is she carrying a child or not. In the olden days, there were no examination like what we have. Ultrasonography, amniocentesis, various pregnancy tests. Amniocentesis for sex determination. You don't have the pregnancy test like we have today. But pregnancy is not the only reason. But at that time, 3 months is sufficient to come to know whether the woman is carrying the child of the husband or not. Pregnancy is not the only criteria, one of the important criteria. Besides that, as I said, that can you stay away, etc., it's a preliminary period. But in case of the death of a husband, when divorce takes place, everything is planned. Planned means divorce doesn't take place suddenly. First, there's mutual consultation between husband and wife if you go according to the correct sunnah. If you go to the wrong bidah style, talaq, then it may take place in a second. You get angry and it starts, which is not Islamic at all. It's talaq bidah, as I discussed last time. If you go to the Islamic procedure of talaq, first there's mutual consultation between husband and wife. Then if it cannot be solved, then you appoint an arbiter. Then you wait. Then normally divorce takes place. It takes weeks and months, sometimes even year. So it is planned and you know something is going on. And then there is the period for 3 months. Compared to in a case of a husband dying, most of the time it's sudden death. Maybe an accident, maybe has a disease. Some rare cases he is terminally ill and you know he's dying slowly, but the chance is less. So most of the time in death, you don't expect your husband to die. So here the wife is in a state of mental shock. So besides coming to know whether she's carrying a child in which 3 months is sufficient, so no one lays an allegation on her that she has illicit sex, nauz billah, with some man, and after the husband has died, she's carrying a child of someone else. So in that period is a period to know whether she's carrying the child, one of the reasons. But why is it 1 month, 10 days more? Because when the woman undergoes a sudden loss or shock that she does not have a husband, this time is given for her to settle down. That's the reason during the iddah she cannot make any contract to marry someone else. And if she makes it, it's not valid. After the iddah is over, because maybe she's in a state of shock and someone says, I want to marry, she says she's not secured, she's very scared, and she may agree to marry someone who's not good also. So the iddah period is extended. So 4 months, 10 days is sufficient to let the mental shock come down, for the woman to come in normal state, so that she can take the decision to remarry. So it's a longer iddah, longer waiting period, and she can take a much wiser decision whether she has to marry again, who she chooses, etc. That's the reason for the iddah after death of husband is longer as compared to divorce.
जी नाज़रीन, आपने ये वीडियो मुलाज़ा फरमाई। माशाल्लाह ज़ाकिर ने एक हाफिज़हुल्लाह ने बड़ी ही अहम गुफ्तगू की है। तो नाज़रीन, अगर देखा जाए तो दीगर आपने उलमा इकराम को सुना होगा, तो वो तो कहते हैं कि कोई मसला नहीं है, ठीक है। लेकिन नाज़रीन, जैसा कि सहीह बुखारी के अंदर एक हदीस है कि अगर तो ऐसी बात है कि इद्दत के दौरान यानी पैगाम भेजा है किसी यानी कि मर्द ने, तो वो ये बात कहे औरत के जब मेरी इद्दत पूरी हो जाएगी फिर मैं उसी से ही यानी शादी करूँ, फिर तो नाज़रीन ठीक है। और दूसरे नंबर पे अगर इद्दत के दौरान कर ली है यानी कि मर्द को नहीं पता, तो उसने यानी कि औरत ने शादी कर ली है, जो दूसरे मर्द से उसने शादी की है, मर्द को नहीं पता, लेकिन हम ये नहीं फिर उसके बारे में कह सकते। तो नाज़रीन, जैसा कि आप देखें कि इद्दत के दौरान यानी अभी इद्दत चल रही है, तो उसने औरत दूसरे मर्द से शादी कर ली, लेकिन इद्दत उसकी औरत की पूरी नहीं हुई, लेकिन उसने शादी कर ली, उस मर्द को नहीं बताया, तो उसके अंदर मर्द का कोई कसूर नहीं होगा, यानी कि औरत की कसूर होगा। लेकिन ये नहीं हम कह सकते जो औलाद पैदा हुई या जो माज़अल्लाह के यानी कि वो ज़िना हो गया, ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। तो नाज़रीन, दुआ करें अल्लाह पाक हमें नबी पाक सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की शरीयत के मुताबिक अल्लाह हमें ज़िंदगी गुज़ारने की तौफ़ीक दे, और ये भी दुआ करें अल्लाह पाक हमें 5 वक्त का बाजमा नमाजी बना दे, और अल्लाह पाक हमें कुरान पाक की तिलावत करने की तौफ़ीक दे, और साथ साथ कुरान को तर्जुमे के साथ पढ़ने की तौफ़ीक दे। जज़ाकुमुल्लाहु खैरा। अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू।